Anyway, one more guy that I do want to touch on, and we kind of brushed over it, is Buddy Hield. That there are rumors that the contract extensions with the Pacers have broken down. Buddy very clearly wants to get paid. This is something that would throw off that cap space plan, but he is an all-time theoretical Sixer, a guy that has been in the rumors for years. So I'll throw it to you first, Josh. Do you think there's any chance that a Buddy Hield deal gets done? Because even if they want to keep this cap space plan alive, you could theoretically find a trade, whether it be a Tobias Harris deal or something like that, where you could at least allow him to play out this season and go from there. Do you think Buddy's the type of guy that they would take that risk for, or do you think this is all not worth talking about?
My personal opinion, I think if we find a way to make it work, I think we should get him. Truly.
Yeah.
Buddy has become, to me, criminally underrated. I don't know why. I mean, who knows behind closed doors why the contract extension and talks didn't work out. But I love Buddy Hield's game. And I think putting him next to a Joel Embiid, next to a Tyrese Maxey would be a perfect fit. I love how he plays. I love how he shoots. Obviously, he's just gotten better and better and more efficient. Like, I really like Buddy Hield. Now, do I think that we'll actually make a play at him? Probably not. I would be shocked if we did. However, I would love it. And truly, I've been on the record. I've said that for a couple seasons because, again, he's been linked to us for forever. But I love him. I am a big fan of his game. And even going back to, remember with the Ben Simmons and Halliburton thing when Buddy was still in Sacramento, and they were, I mean, take this for what it's worth, but there were like certain tweets that they had liked about them possibly coming to Philly. Buddy Hield has liked like every one of those. So I don't know. Is he a guy? Of course, he's a guy who A, wants to get paid. That's why they're looking for a trade. But B, he wants to play competitive ball, man. That dude is just kind of rotted away in Sacramento and now in Indy. Like my absolute nightmare is a team like the Bucks get aggressive and throw together something like Bobby Portis, Grayson Allen, whoever it takes, and they go get Buddy Hield. Like, that's my nightmare. I don't want it to happen. Or the Celtics end up working something out with I don't want that. So I would hope the Sixers would do it. I'm not holding my breath, but would welcome him with open arms. I would be the guy with the sign. It's sitting at the airport welcoming him when he shows up. I would love Buddy Hield in Philly.
I love it and totally agree. James, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we've been on record as well. We've been Buddy guys for a while. And I think that there's three factors of like why, against the movement to get Buddy Hield and to give up assets to get him, to have to extend him after that, considering the reason he's looking to get out is to extend him. And the fact that like he's sneakily 30 years old already. He was an old college player, played all 4 years, came out a little bit older. So it seems like he's still like would be on that younger track. He is on the north side of 30, once this season ends. So that's something you have to consider as well when you're thinking about timelines and windows and things of that nature. But on the opposite side, Sean and I were kind of gushing over his stats, looking over them before we got on the pod. And it's like, dude, he's taking 10 threes a game, shooting over 40%. It's off the catch, it's off the dribble, it's off the screens, it's off everything. Like, he is as lethal and dangerous of a shooter as you can add. And you think about back to times when Joel Embiid did play alongside great shooters and even guys like Seth Curry, JJ Redick, and how the offense really was catered around that and how much he benefited from that. Buddy is that type of shooter, if not like volume wise, better, definitely than Seth. JJ Redick was a different story because he's just has the reputation and everything, but Buddy as well. But like volume, efficiency, where he's getting to the, to those touches and those shots. On top of that, he's 6'4", 6'5", 7 foot wingspan, like the whole thing. He's, a legit wing in the league. So the positives really might outweigh the negatives there. I wonder what the contract looks like that he's looking for. And depending on that, I think I would be willing to do what you got to do to get him. But, there are significant reasons why I could see that they won't, and I won't be surprised if they won't. But like you said, Josh, I would be rooting for it if it happens.
Yeah, and there's kind of two different trade outlooks for this. Number one would pretty much be a straight up Tobias Harris swap. There's been interest from the Pacers in Tobias. There's been a couple rumors there. So that's something that would not surprise me. And both those guys are on the last year of their contract. You also could muster up some sort of potential like PJ Tucker, Furkan, and a pick kind of deal, or some sort of package like that could potentially interest Indiana, depending on how bad that they want to get him out of there. For me, I feel like either way, even if this is you trade from he plays out this season and he potentially walks, for me, that's still worth it. Like, if you have a chance to get Buddy Hield and at least see what he does this season, I'm still cool with that. Because, Josh, I agree with you that I think he's become underrated. I don't think people understand just how truly elite of a shooter that he is. And to rattle off like a couple stats, for his career, he's a 40.2% three-point shooter while attempting 7.7 three-pointers a game. And just last season, he shot 42.5% from three while attempting 8.5 three-pointers per game. Like, that's a ridiculous combination of volume and efficiency. And by the way, he's been a 20-point per game scorer, 19, 16.6, 15.6, 16.8 last year, 18.2 the year before. Like, he puts up real deal numbers. And by the way, he's super, super durable. That, yes, he's 30, but he's played 80 or more games in 5 of the 7 years of his career. That just does not happen in the NBA. Like, we never see that anymore. And just think about, like, to your point about JJ Redick and Seth Curry, for starters, those were 2 of the best partners with Embiid ever. And I think Buddy's just a straight up better basketball player than both of them, that he can do more. And I think he's just as effective as a shooter because he's turned himself into a complete basketball player. He can dribble a little bit. He can pass a little bit. I've been very impressed with kind of the track that Buddy Hield has gone on as far as development. And I would love to get my hands on him as a Sixers fan. I would love to see what he looks like in there.